Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again for more of our Gencon Bonanza Explosion Blood coverage here live at Gencon 2018. Thanks part to all of our amazing Kickstarter backers. Keep sending us back year after year. These spectacular companies who donated games for our Kickstarter so we could come to Gencon. And of course our big sponsors, Tasty Minstrel Games and Mini Games. Show them some love. Right now, I'm very excited because last year, I believe all they had was this awesome looking mech over here.
They had, yes, they definitely had the awesome looking mech for GKR heavy hitters for Weta. And then they also, I believe, had a few of these panels showing that there was going to be a District 9 board game, but there was nothing beyond that, nothing else to show at that time.
And it's the same way now this year, so there's not much of a story here. Now there's a bigger banner.
Yes, yeah, there is a much bigger banner. But no, actually, the beautiful thing is that in the last year, my company, Trushula Entertainment, we've actually been working on the District 9 board game itself, and we are showing it off for the first time to anyone here.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So what is District 9 the board game?
So District 9 the board game, it takes place over the course of 3 days, just like the movie does. All right. The movie obviously follows Wickes and Christopher Johnson over the course of 3 days. And the first day, Wickes is going around evicting Prawn from their homes, like he is in the movie, and basically populating District 9 with more refugees and such. As he discovers the black canister, the ooze, and gets infected, we move into the Day 2 phase. Day 2 is where Wickes is wandering around the district even more, trying to figure out what's happened to him. He's mutating and all these things, where he stumbles across Christopher. When they come together, obviously in the movie, there's a whole slew of different things happening to them. However, we're not able to affect anything that happens in the movie, so in the board game what we've done is, instead of following Wickes and Christopher, we're actually using them as, I guess you could say, almost events that happen that will affect what the players are doing. So the players are going to be playing a variety of factions. We have a gangster faction, obviously, because you can't have District 9 without a gangster faction. We've got the MNU, which obviously Wickes used to be part of, the government agency, the MNU agency. We have the RFB, which are the military and mercenary group. And then one of the awesome things that we were able to do with the District 9 board game is we were able to get permission to create a Prawn engineer faction.
Nice.
And so there are, for you Prawn lovers, there are a faction that you will be able to play. One of the really cool things is obviously the Prawn vehicle, which is a very distinct and different sculpt than anything else. And so it's got a very good Prawn flavor to it. And each faction, effectively, you are going out into the district trying to collect the alien technology that everyone is interested in. And so you're trying to capitalize on the events that are happening to Wickes and Christopher and use that almost as a distraction to race out there, find alien tech, bring it back into your faction, and you're going to use that in a variety of ways. It's going to, one, be victory points for you at the end of the game. During the game, what's going to happen, though, is you're going to use it as in-game currency to increase your power and your influence on the district itself. You're going to use it to buy upgrades for your vehicle that will add to your stats, such as your attack and your defense. Some of your allies have special abilities that can help when you're attacked, or if you want to move further, things like that. You also have a variety of heavy machine guns that are going to add to even more attack. And players will, at times, they'll decide whether or not they want to actually fight other players, or they want to subdue Prawn and move them out of the way and such. We've got a variety of different mechanics. People have been asking me, okay, if I had to sum up the game, what kind of game is it? And I can't really do that, because when we spoke to Weta, one of the things they wanted, and one thing that they mandated, was we want something completely unique, which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
I explained that to them many times. It's very hard to do it, but I'll do my best. But they didn't want a game that they were just throwing the D9 skin on, and so we made sure, working with them hand in hand, that we came to something that borrows from a lot of different genres, but is very different. So there's a little bit of resource management in the game. There's a little bit of skirmish in the game as far as miniatures go, because not only do you have your own vehicle, but you also have your deployable allies that at times will be added to the board that will help influence the board, let you control zones, possibly have a firefight of their own. So there's a little bit of a skirmish game going on as well. You've got territory control game going on as well. So it blends all these different things together. All right. We also have what we sometimes refer to as a loot goblin at the end game state, which is one thing, unfortunately, we're not showing off at Gen Con, so you guys won't get to see it. I'm sorry, you won't get to see it. But what happens, just to sum it up, because it's something that I think is really cool, when Christopher and Wickus come together on day 2, because we have event cards, we have an event deck for every day. When they come together, or when the event deck runs out, the day ends and we start day 3, and on day 3 in the movie, that's when the dropship actually comes and crashes into District 9, which in this case is this center square, or the center zone here. So if you happen to have allies here, and there's some prawn in there and various things, this dropship will come down here. It will eliminate everything in that zone. And immediately Wickus emerges in the exosuit. And when Wickus emerges in the exosuit, he just goes crazy on everything. Because in the movie, obviously, he's trying to draw as much attention as he can to himself so that CJ can basically get off planet, return to the mothership. And so that's effectively what's going on here. And so the players at that point are trying to survive Wickus in the exosuit because he's just going crazy on everyone indiscriminately. And at the same time, you need to decide whether or not it's worth trying to get close enough to him to get some of the tasty loot that he's dropping while he's taking damage, while the helicopter's firing on the exosuit, breaking off chunks of it. And so you have to, opportunistic strategy in a way is, okay, do I get close enough or do I put myself at too much risk to go get those points? Because at the end of the day, whoever has the most tech, the most loot, they're going to be the victor. They're going to have the most influence over District 9, hold the most power, and basically say, I now control District 9.
Awesome, awesome. So when can we expect this to be Kickstarter released, or what's happening?
So the plan right now, that's the final decision's up to Weta. But what they're doing right now, we're looking at potentially a late October Kickstarter date for this year, or an early, potentially early Q1 Kickstarter of next year. So
very, very cool. That looks fantastic. District 9, the board game. It looks like it might be a cup of tea. Be sure to check that one out. If you're enjoying the Gen Con coverage, click on the subscribe button down below, and in the comments below, let me know if you could have any one game be a miniatures game, not District 9, don't cop out, any movie you could turn into a miniatures game. You don't have to design it. What do you want?
Well, no. See, you can't do that. If you want me to pick any one movie to make a miniatures game, I have to design it. Because I'm a miniatures guy at heart.
Okay, you can design it. What's the game though? Or what's the movie?
The one movie I would turn into a game that's not already got a game?
I'll go first. What do you think? I'm gonna go Truman Show. I want Truman Show. He's on the map. You're trying to, get him, but trying not to make it too obvious. So Truman Show, a little obscure.
Oh, any movie that hasn't had a game that I could turn into a game. Man, I honestly don't know.
Just say Truman Show.
Just say Truman Show? Truman Show? Really? Just say Truman Show? All right, Truman Show, I guess, because I really can't. I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank. There's so many awesome properties out there that do have games that not necessarily have had justice done to them, but but that's also hard because we're actually working on one next.
You can't say it, I'm assuming.
I can't yet. No. In about 30 days, the announcement goes live.
Okay.
By the publisher. The announcement by the publisher goes live, and then Trishula will also be able to talk about what property it is. It's a very big property. It's very well known. I guarantee you, everybody here at Gen Con knows this property, but we can't talk about it yet. That's one of our next big things. And then,
is it the Truman Show? Okay, that's not a no. Very exciting.
Yeah, I know. And then yes, and not on the movie side, but the other next big thing that we're dealing with, that we're going to actually be designing a product for, is a company called Pickpock. They've made Monster 8 Yokano and a little game called Into the Dead. If you're a mobile fan, you probably have seen Into the Dead, the zombie endless runner, and Into the Dead 2. They came to us, and we are actually designing a board game, Endless Runner, for them, themed to Into the Dead. So all of a sudden, probably about this time next year, or maybe even a little bit sooner, you'll be seeing a zombie endless runner board game for Into the Dead.
All right, very, very cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time, YouTube.